Greetings all. Oh, you can see my microphone. Let's change that a little bit. There we go. All right. Hi. Zero here. Back with another little video. As I'm sure you recognize, this is the processor that I'm attempting to make. Haven't really done too much work on this, at least on this part of it. Remember when I said when I was making these things that I don't think I can make it any smaller than this? I did. I was pleasantly surprised. So, not sure if you can tell, but we have 8 lines of data going in. We have 8 sets of memory here. So this is a full 8 bytes of memory. And what's great is it works. So that sends all the data into the data lines. Data line gets propagated all the way through to the back here. So, just in case you're not completely clear yet, this is 2 wide. 2 wide, 3 tall, and technically 4 wide. Although the memory itself doesn't really include the transmission between. So, yeah, let's write some stuff. So we'll write this one and we'll skip this one. Let's just write all the yellow ones. All right, and that should be all the yellow ones. All right. Now, we are going to turn off the data. Okay, so we have no data, no data, no data, no data, no data going all the way through. Now, we are going to read. So, because we set every one of these to 1, that's why it's reading all ones. So, let's change this up a little bit. Instead of reading all ones, which is not really indicative of it doing what it's supposed to do. Wait, hold on. You need to turn off. There we go. So let's just overwrite. And you can see that little block right there, the little quartz one in there. See how it's a redstone over here? That's because that is the data block. Alright, so everything is now overwritten. Now let's put in a little pattern. We like this, and we like this, and we like this, and we like this. Alright. Now, we are going to put this only into the yellow ones. Alright. Now we're going to turn off the data. Okay, so all the data is off. We have nothing going through right now. Now we're going to read. Let's pick this one. We want to enable or read. And then, as you can see, we get our pattern back out. So I hope this is proof enough that it works. It can read, it can write, it can transmit the data through. Now, I did want to take a little bit and talk about the propagation here. That is currently reading. Why are you reading right now? Because I didn't reset you. Or maybe I did, and I just need to flush the memory, or the bus. That is what I need to do. I need to flush the bus. There we go. That should turn off. Okay, so the reason why I set this up is so that way we can see the sort of on-off times. Why is that block there? That doesn't need to be there. Okay, so you can see it goes through really fast, and it turns off faster than all of that over there. So it is it's a little bit faster. It's about half the size. let's see, I think this one was 4 by 4 by 3. Yeah, 4 by 4 by 3. And then this one is 2 by 3 by 3. So whereas the other one would have been like all 4 of these, I can actually fit 2 memory cells into the space of one of the ones over there. So super, super excited about that. But there is the issue here that was kind of bothering me. It's why is it so quick to turn on and so slow to turn off? So I thought to myself, I said, Zero, you can fix this. You can make it work. You can make it better. And so that's what I did. And I came up with this design over here. Now these are still the exact same size. These are 2 by 3 by 3. But as you will notice, the only torches you see in all of this are these ones. How did you do it? How does it work? Okay, well, check this out. Now watch our data over here, right? See how it's got the redstone on top and the quartz on the bottom? If I flip this, can you still see that over there? Yeah. Check it out. It just flips and rotates, right? So now we've got redstone on the bottom, quartz on the top. And if we turn it off, bam, it's back. Okay, that's cool, but how does it do anything? The reason for that is these right here. All right, so this one is cloning, right? So now as you can see, this is our Y, so this is our height. So we're cloning 2 blocks over here, and then we're moving it 3 blocks south. Hold on, that way. All right. And then for this one, we're doing pretty much the same exact thing. We're going down a block and then going to the same height. So, and then what we're doing is we're cloning again, that way. Okay. So all these are doing is if this bottom one is on, it clones these 2 over to here. If this top one is on, it clones these 2 over to here. It's like, but Zero, they're doing the same thing. But they're not. See, what happens is in this orientation, only the top one works, which means that it's going to be taking this orientation, the quartz on the bottom, redstone on top, and then cloning that one to the other side, right? But in the other orientation, where the quartz is on the top and the redstone is on the bottom, then only this bottom one is working, which means that it's taking this orientation, which is quartz on top, redstone on the bottom, and it's moving this one across here. Now, every single one of these memory locations have the same exact 2 boxes here. So nothing is different between these. I'm going to put my glass back. Okay. So that is how we get propagation from this side all the way over to there. And if you'll notice, okay, we're currently on, and we're off, and we're on, and we're off, and we're on, and we're off. Now, I don't know if you can really tell, but I do notice it. This turning it off is still slower by just a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. And the reason why is because of these torches here. Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to really invert a signal going to a command block without using a torch, so I'm kind of stuck there. But this is the only delay now. So however long it takes all of these command blocks to activate and send all the way through, it's the same for both. From this point on, turning on and turning off takes the exact same amount of time. And all because of this, flipping the orientation of those 2 things. Okay, now, what do we do now? Well, let's take a look inside this thing. We have another 2 blocks over here. Now these 2 blocks, they do absolutely nothing. This redstone block here does nothing. It doesn't power anything, it's there. And the reason why is because when we want to read, this is our data bit block, by the way, so I put it where it's nice and easy to see. And I also made it so that way you can see all the way down, so you'll be able to see which ones have data and which ones don't. So when we read, we want this particular orientation to move over here. Because as you can see right now with the data off, we have this orientation. And what we want is this orientation. So for our read signal, which is the gray here, we are testing for a redstone block in the data bit position, which is right here. So if this is a redstone block, then and only then, because this is conditional, will it clone directly what's behind here to this location here. Now, if this is set to nothing, right, and then we want to propagate nothing, well, if we already have nothing going in and nothing going out, then we don't have to change anything. So that's why this one is only testing for and only running the operation on if the data bit is a redstone block. And then it'll clone these, which is like the 1 position, and it'll put the 1 here. All right, now writing is pretty simple. It's just cloning this bottom block here into this data bit here. Super simple. And that is about it for those command blocks. Now, you'll notice that these are alternating blocks here, right? And you'll see that underneath this block is a command block, and underneath the white block is also a command block, right? Well, because this top one here has to do with the propagation of the data, we don't want that to operate or to turn on or do its thing when we send a write signal through. So that's why we alternate the blocks here. Now, how does that help? It helps because what we're doing is we're doing a fill command. So we are filling the top row, starting at this block here, going all the way down here. And then we are putting in redstone blocks, but we are only replacing the granite. That's the only thing that we're replacing. The other stuff, I think that's diorite, we're not touching that. And so that's how alternating the blocks helps with that. And similarly with this one, we are replacing, we are putting granite in where the redstone blocks were. And so what this does is this effectively makes this a one-way command block. So we can send a signal through here, kind of, and the command block behind here won't activate. Only these ones below the granite will. And so that is how we get this to work. Now, these blocks here, all it's doing is it's just setting blocks, right? So this sets, I think, the top block, yeah. So this sets the top block to quartz, this one sets the bottom block to redstone, this one does the opposite and sets the top block to redstone and the bottom block to quartz. And then this is inverted, so when this is on, this is not, and then when this is off, this is on, and that's how you get these to switch. So, we might as well do a little test, I guess. We will store in a pattern over here, over here, over here, and here. And then we will write that, and you can watch these change. See? Just like that. And then we'll put it over here in this blue one, and then over here in this blue one, and over here in this blue one. Now you can see the data bits quite easily here, which ones have the data, which ones do not. So now we're going to clear the data. There we go. I just turned them all on. Duh. Silly zero. Yes, I'm referring to myself in the third YouTube name version. Yeah. Third person. But YouTube name. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so these actually need to be buttons and not switches. Oh well. Nope. That's okay, we wrote a 0 into that one, so that one doesn't matter. Okay, this is why buttons. Okay, so you'll see, well, yeah, I really, I don't know what I did with this one. Everything's off, right? Yeah, everything's off. let's just overwrite this one. There we go. Okay. That was just kind of dumb. Alright, so that one is set to 0, that one's got the pattern. Okay, so now, in fact, I'm going to get the buttons out. There we go. So now if you want to read this, you'll see that it is now reading, sending data, which is the bottom one here. So that's sending that all the way through, and we get to the end, and you can see our pattern. So now the bottom block is the data block, the other one is just, I guess you can call it the inverse data block, and that just serves to reset everything and to get propagation going. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see. Now, something that I noticed that I realized doesn't actually matter. Okay, so we've got all this stuff here. It's already on the data line. It's on the bus, right? Let's say that we wanted to read something else that had all zeros, right? Well, the thing is that because those two blocks only work when it sees that there's a redstone block here, they don't actually do anything. And that's okay. Because when we go through here, I mean, we don't want to just have this turn off, right? We don't want it to be overwritten right away. Because, I mean, there's other places along the bus that is going to be taking in this data, and we don't know how long it's going to take. And, yeah, so whenever you want to read new data, and then we kind of discovered that over here too, we have to flush the memory, and then we can read that. But since it's all zeros right now, and everything was all zeros stored in there, then that's kind of what it's going to do, I guess. Now, there is a way to test this one for a quartz block, and then to put in, you know, the other pattern here, and then copy that one over. But if I need that, I can put it in. There's space to do it. So for right now, I'm not going to worry about it. If it does become a problem, then I will. So, and then once again, just checking the propagation. Pretty fast, both on and off, pretty fast. So, this will save a lot of time, a lot of space, and once again, when you're comparing this size to this size here, we are saving thousands of blocks of space. So I am, once again, very happy about that. Now, can this be made even smaller? I'm not going to say no, because like I thought that was as small as I could go, and it turns out that hey, you can actually go smaller. So I'm not going to say that this is the smallest that you can go, but this is pretty damn small. And it's fast. We don't have so much like latency on turning off stuff. So I think this is going to be kind of a good thing here. And then also, because these are all just one block apart now, instead of over here like we have the 3 spaces of blocks in between each one, that is also going to be a lot shorter. So in the space that this one took to go from a full 8 bytes, or 8 bits, right? So that's all 8. That one over there will only take up to here. To right here. And that's it. All this other stuff is gone. No longer there. We don't care about it. Alright. I'm gonna do a little work on the addressing, but given what you have to do for addressing and the fact that we need command blocks for each individual test that we do, I don't know how much smaller I can make this. But, once again, we shall see. And, yeah. I don't know. So I just wanted to share this with you. Kind of a new way of doing things. Had to scratch my brain a little bit in some of these parts. Almost gave up once or twice. But in the end, persevere, get it done, and you get something cool. So, once again, my name is Zero, 1 of 1. This is my video. If you have liked it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be putting out a new video soon. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.